Joey Lopez here, Raul Joey Lopez. I want to talk to you a little bit about fat loss. It's many people have considered it to become a mysterious, unattainable, esoteric thing because let's look at our society. I mean, it's 75% of people don't get the recommended 30 minutes of activity 5 days a week. And I'm not one of those guys that's going to sit there and shame somebody for that. You know, I understand we have lives, we're busy. It's built into our biology to be conserving of energy. And there's a lot of issues and things that conspire to make it challenging to do activity. And furthermore, to end up in a situation where you're overweight or obese, whatever it might be. So, man, that is definitely a challenge. And that's actually what I want to talk a little bit about is this idea of compassion. I want to introduce this overwhelming idea of compassion to the extent that I don't believe that you can blame anyone for their situation. Now, we got to be very careful here in our determination of what the words that we use, but what I'm saying here is that where you are right now is not your fault. Because you have certain genetics, you have certain parents, certain culture, certain income, whatever it is, and much of that was dictated for you before you even came into this world, right? And by no means do I think that you're destined to that state, but it carries a lot of weight. But in the end, there's still this powerful thing, it's called choice. And so we have the choice to do certain things in response to the situation that we've been presented, right? So maybe I have bad genes and maybe if I don't work out, I'm gonna blow up. But I can choose to work out. Or maybe I don't have access to the best foods, but I can still be smart about even the foods that I choose with what access I have. So that's really important to understand that I get it. I get that wherever you're coming from, lack of time, energy, whatever it is, it's a challenge, okay? But I want to give you 3 tips for fat loss here. Number 1, in fact, all of these really aren't talked about much in the scope of fat loss, but they're powerful. In fact, they might be more important than any actual exercise that you do, okay? Number 1, it's called growth mindset. It's a simple concept, okay? And the basic premise behind this says this, is that if you believe that you can achieve something that is actually a skill, that is that you can learn to accomplish it, and you can craft it, and you can work on it, you can shape it, you can bend it, then you can get better, and you will actually get better. Your results will become phenomenal. They'll be great as long as you put the effort in. But first you have to believe that you can do this, okay? So many people have said, oh, what's the key to success? Oh, it's toughness, it's hard work. Well, great, those things are important, but they come after you believe. Once you believe you can do something, now you're gonna put the effort forward because you see yourself in a new light. You're not considering yourself in shape or an athlete or someone who does that, but someone who is willing to put the effort forward to make things happen. That's huge right there. So that's number 1, growth mindset. Number 2, guys, check this out. Number 2 is you gotta have balance, okay? Now I'm talking about balance in the well-being sense. So I'm gonna say 3 things specifically, and might open up another area here. But number 1 is the idea of sleep. I mean, people have corrupted this like crazy. Motivational speakers say, oh, you gotta sacrifice your sleep to become successful, whatever, this, that. Okay, you know what? In a crunch, you might need to do that one night here or there. But really, on the whole, you need to get 8 hours of sleep. And if you're working out hard, you might need to get 9 hours of sleep sometimes. Oh, but I don't have time to sleep. Look, it's been proven. There's science behind it. You can look at some TED Talks. You can look at all kinds of information, and I'll provide some resources. But it says this time and time again, if you're well rested, you're actually more productive, you get more done. And then in terms of fat loss, hormonally, it makes you more optimal, puts you in your optimal state to actually achieve the fat loss that you're looking for. So if you are sleep deprived, you're fighting an uphill battle against fat loss, okay? No brainer. Everybody knows that you got to eat better, right? But what does that mean? Here's a quick breakdown of that, okay? So I'm not this Nazi nutrition guy that says, oh, you can't eat that, you can't eat that, you can't eat that. Okay, I think you can actually be pretty flexible with your diet, but you got to be realistic about where you're at and what your goals are too. If you're trying to get down to 3% body fat, compete in a bodybuilding competition as a man, well, you got to be eating, chicken and broccoli like a bodybuilder does, for the most part, okay? And if you want to get super lean as a woman and be able to see abs, 12, 15% body fat, you got to be doing the same thing for that, okay? But most people, they don't even want to get that low. They just want to get to a nice flat stomach and have some lean toned muscles and whatnot. And even that takes some discipline, but you can be a little bit more flexible with that, okay? So we'll talk more about nutrition in another video, but that's a basic rundown right there. You don't have to kill yourself in one 30-day challenge to just crush your nutrition, because that's just really hard to maintain, okay? And as far as exercise goes, that's another one that's just a huge misconception. You don't have to get out there and bury yourself under exercise. In fact, sometimes the less you do, the more is actually there, right? So for example, 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week is the minimum recommendation for a healthy lifestyle. That's what I recommend. For the most part, most people need only 30 minutes of exercise a day, and you're going to get what you need, okay? Even if you just walked, that right there alone is a big starting point, okay? So I get it. I know going to the gym is scary. I know working out in itself is I don't know what to do. What do I do? Da-da-da-da, whatever. Well, that's where having some very basic tools available to you are going to help, okay? So stay tuned for that. In the future, I'm going to have a video, workout video, where it's all the basic principles, gets you ready to go to the gym, so that those of you that are even scared of just stepping foot into the gym, don't feel comfortable with that, that's what you're going to need right there, okay? Last thing, number 3, guys. So number 2 is balance. Number 3 is moderation. Take it slow, patience. We know the cliche, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Well, that's because it wasn't. It takes time to achieve great things. And if you want something that's enduring, look at the Colosseum. It's still there, even after centuries, and it hasn't been maintained very well up until this point, and it's still there. Look at the pyramids, right? They're there because they took painstaking time to do something magnificent. So if you really want results, you got to know that it's not going to happen in a flash. Okay, you're going to have setbacks. You know you have a busy schedule, and you complain about time as being an issue, an excuse to get in the way anyways, right? So you know that that's a realistic thing. Sometimes it's going to get in the way. And so you might get results. You might be in a gym. You might go for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then get derailed. But that's okay. Just get back on the wagon, right? It's right there waiting for you anyways. It hasn't moved in that sense, okay? So patience, know that it takes time to build a fat loss lifestyle, and allow yourself to be forgiven when you make a mistake so you can just get back on, okay? So those are my 3 tips. Joey Lopez, Raul Joey Lopez. Catch you later.